Greetings, 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 everyone. Welcome to the monthly live stream. Yes, yes. This is Dr. Akina Finch, and of course, my lovely co host, Vanessa Canterbury. And today we're going to be talking about breaking barriers unapologetically for June. Yes, and why are we talking about this topic? Because in July, my lovely co host there will be having her second annual conference for Breaking Barriers Unapologetically. And so we're going to talk a little bit about it, let y'all know why y'all should be in it, how y'all get to it, all the things, talk about some of the speakers, the things, and then eventually show you where the link is because we want you in the thing. All right.
All right
As
now.
you can, I know, right? We're all about the thing today. Yes, the thing. Yes. So we can't wait for you to talk back to us and all that stuff. So, Vanessa, tell us a little bit about why you started Breaking Barriers Unapologetically.
Oh my goodness. Breaking barriers unapologetically was something that was birthed in itself. It was something that I never would have thought. I had did a series of anthologies, and during those anthologies, the authors would reach out to me and tell me how much the process helped them to be able to relieve some things that they thought they had let go, because the anthologies were, you had to be very transparent to be in the book. And so we will talk about relationships, we will talk about our parents, we will talk about our children. And so sometimes we hold on to those things that we really thought that we let go and we didn't, right? And so I was overwhelmed with the outpour of the gratitude for me just to move forward with these anthologies. And that's something, again, I never wanted to do an anthology, never.
Mhm.
Um, because I had a horrible experience with it in my very first time coming out. So when it was placed on me to be able to do these anthologies, I never knew that it was going to be that massive of what people needed as a release mechanism is the best way to say it. And so by the time I had put out Dear Dad, which was the second one, the authors was like, Vanessa, we need you to do so much. We need you to have a conference. If you won't have a conference, we gonna be there. Because what you're doing is so needed. And I just never thought about it that way because, one, I'm very transparent in my story. And so I'm relatable on so many levels, but then at the same time, so many people are relatable, but so many people don't speak about it. And I do. And so if it was a way to open up the way for people to have a conversation into healing, I'm all hands on. I'm all on board. Count me in order for you to get that healing. If that would mean in the anthology, okay, it was the anthology. And so next thing you know, it just kept coming out to do a conference. And I was like, oh, no, I don't want to. And so I turned around and prayed about it. And then next thing you know, the name came and I was like, no, that can't be right. That can't be right. The location of the where the conference was in Maryland and I'm in Chicago, I was like, no, that can't be right. So it was just a really of a stretch because it was pulling me again outside of my comfort zone. And so, you know what that means when you are willing to be stretched, you have to be willing to understand that you're going to have to endure some things. And so I had to be open to surrender on this whole new foreign thing called a live conference. And so I did. And so during the conference, it was so amazing that it was intimate, but it was so darn powerful that it was so undescribable. So I said, okay, I'm done with the conference. I did, the conference, I'm good, what have you. No. Before I could even leave, there was talking about, okay, so when you're doing your next conference, what you mean? Wait, what you mean? I did my one. I'm one and done. And it was like, no. So the people who wasn't able to attend Friday attended Saturday. And it was like, if Saturday is just as powerful than Friday, I could imagine what happened on Friday. So you're going to do this again. And I was like, no. And here I am doing it again. So of course, it was going to be live here in Chicago, but with everything going on and people were still asking about the conference, it was like, okay, let's go ahead and do it virtually, especially what's going on right now. And then I was thinking about also, I think it was last week or the week before, I was writing something and sending something out to the speakers, and I was like, dang, I did not realize that when you think of the name of my books and the things that I talk about, it's so relatable to what we're dealing with right now. So my books is what turns around and birth breaking barriers unapologetically. And I am like blown away by what's taking place on the levels of growth, the levels of being willing to be able to create tables where we all could eat. That's what's important. Creating tables where we all can eat. So many people are looking for and waiting for somebody to be able to show them the way, but people want to be able to rake them over the head with breaking the bank. That's the best way to put it. And so there's a way that we can be able to help people without breaking them. They are already broken. Why do we have to break them financially as well? And so this virtual conference is going to be some powerful stuff. We're going to have some amazing speakers. We have some amazing topics. In order for people to understand what's going to take place at this conference, you have to be in the room so you can be willing and vulnerable to break those own barriers. Because oftentimes people think that, oh, I don't have nothing, I don't have no issues, I'm good, or what have you. We all got something that's going on, something that's underlining. And we are too afraid to talk about it because we suppressed it so long. So why should we bring it up now? So, breaking barriers unapologetically is attacking things in a way where you will want to be able to break those barriers in your own household.
Oh, that was a lot. And, rightfully so, because people need to know about this conference. They need to know why they need to attend, and they need to know how it's going to help them. Everybody is going through so many different changes right now between, if you were in Nashville, we had a natural disaster
Yeah.
followed by pandemic. Now Black Lives Matter, and woo boy, let's just say 2020 has been a very interesting year,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Yeah.
So this is a good time to start focusing on the things that you can change or don't like or need to pivot. And this conference is a good place for you to put it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we can always talk about, how should we say, Vanessa? I like the piece about the unapologetically part.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Okay?
yeah.
Yeah. And that is so important because a lot of times we want to do things, but we apologize for it. We
Yep.
want to see things and we apologize for it. We want to change our lives and we're apologizing for it. Why are we apologizing for things that's going to make us better? Why are we
Mm-hmm.
apologizing for making things that's going to make us stronger? What are we
Mm-hmm.
apologizing for things that's going to put us in a better light? Because we're scared
Yep.
about what other people are going to say and how other people are going to feel. But on
Yep.
judgment day, we're going to be the only one standing there. Those other people that we're
Mm-hmm.
thinking about are not going to be there.
Yep.
We are living this life, honest and for truly, and learn. you know, yes, there's
Yeah.
people in our area. Yes, there's people that are going to benefit us, but at the end of the day, we have the option to live this life, how we
Yeah.
choose to live it. And some of us are living life like it's golden, as they say. But however,
Mm-hmm.
some of us are not.
Mm-hmm.
And now is a
Mm.
good time for us to start living that way, right?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So now, since we brought up that topic, Vanessa, can you tell us some of the things that we're going to be talking about at this conference? I know you have a little bit of business, a little bit of life, and then you have this special piece, that they might need, they probably have seen from the flyers and things. But, tell us, you know, what can they learn about in business? What can they learn about in life from your conference?
Mm. This is one thing that I know for a fact. Too often we have life issues that comes from our childhood, and for some way, shape, form, or fashion, it forms in our adulthood. And
Mhm.
then in our adulthood, we turn around and we just overlook it, you know, suppress it as much as we possibly can because we don't want to address the elephant in the room. But then
Mhm.
there at some point, it will show up. It will show up because you jumped ship, meaning you jumped ship to be able to avoid it. So now here you are dealing with this situation in your business. And so now you wondering, why is this happening in my business? Because you have yet to address it in your life.
Exactly.
So, perfect example. And when I had turned around and I had to go through the motions of making necessary adjustments in my life, and it was a lot. But I was willing to be able to make the necessary adjustments because I come from a broken state. I come from a place where that's all what was around me. I come from that place. I come from a place where people were too afraid to do anything different. Everybody did everything the same thing. Everybody thought that was okay. The behavior was okay when it wasn't okay. Everybody would just, pacify the situation, give you a pat on the back, overlook it, turn to a blind eye, or whatever the case may be. And I no longer wanted that type of behavior to take place now that I had children. I wanted to be able to say, hold on, wait a minute. Somebody got to be able to be bold enough to say that, no, that's not okay. That's not going to happen in my household. Somebody got to be willing to take the lead. And there was like, you could be able to have the head in the household, but no niggas moving.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So that's one thing that Breaking Barriers unapologetically is doing. We are attacking the head, meaning the upper part of you, the head, so you can be able to understand that in this household, if you do not address those situations with your spouse, how can you be able to address those situations with your children? Right? Because when they leave off and go off to college and when they leave off to go and live on their own, you have yet to address it. And now it's showing up in their adult life. Is that trickle down effect? So breaking barriers is all about breaking those barriers and educating individuals on how to break the barriers in life or in business, one household at a time. See, the key word is household. One. If we could get one household to be able to sit and be vulnerable, to be able to say, you know what, I got some issues going on. I don't know how to handle my relationship with myself, let alone with my spouse, let alone with my children. So I'm willing to be vulnerable, to be able to be transparent, so I could be able to get to the part of knowing how to heal, how to address these situations, how we need to be able to have these conversations, these uncomfortable conversations, because they are uncomfortable. But it's necessary for us to have these conversations. And that's something that didn't take place in my household when I was growing up. We didn't sit at the table and have these conversations. It was like everybody is passing through the night. Okay, you still here? Okay, good. All right, now what? And so you going on about your way, but then we never had a conversation during the day. So how will I be able to have a conversation with anybody? How can I be able to build a friendship with my peers? I don't know how to have that communication. And and honestly, majority don't know how to communicate. They don't. There's a different way of communicating to get your point across. So you can be heard and they can be heard. So we can meet somewhere in the middle and say, okay, I misunderstood what you were saying, but I hear you. Mm-hmm. Same thing with being a parent. Being a parent is a tough situation. And then sometimes our kids have to pull our coattails sometimes and let us know that really hurt. And us being parents, mature parents, we willing to be able to say, I didn't realize that, but I apologize. And I'm willing to work towards correcting the situation so I don't push my child away. So we need to have these conversations. It's necessary to have these conversations. So jumping ship and not dealing with the things in your life, it will eventually tarnish your business. So I had to go through that process of getting to the root of the pain that left me broken. It wasn't a finger pointing game that I could do. I had to be able to say, I need to get some healing, because this right here is destroying me. And eventually it's going to destroy my children. And so then next thing you know, I started a business. And in the beginning, like the first two years of my business, whoo, you learn a lot. And I've learned a lot about just those people who I thought had my back, right? Those people that you open up to and you're excited about your business, and now you over here just releasing all this information, and they want to put off their insecurities off on you. And so now it's destroying your business. We need to have this conversation. How can we avoid destroying our allowing other people to destroy our business when our name is attached and theirs is not? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we need to talk about that thing. So in order for us to break barriers, you got to have those conversations that's overall. We can't just, do little snippets here and there and think there's going to be some healing. No. If we're going to break the barriers, let's get your life together. If you're going to break the barriers and you're doing the elevation process and there's a business coming in place, at least you will be well prepared. A lot of us is not prepared. A lot of us don't have family members in our household, or not only in our household, but in our family, period, that has a business. What can they give you? What really insight can they give you about business? Like genuine insight about business. Majority of us don't even have that. And so we're struggling way more than need be, because we allowing unnecessary, unsolicited advice from people who don't even have the entrepreneur shift of elevation. Because some people in life, they don't want to grow. Leave them there. Some people don't want to start a business. Leave them there. Exactly. That means you don't have to follow suit because your childhood friends don't support you. Well, let's be real honest. Family and friends are the first ones to not support you anyway. And that was something that a lot of us just, we struggle with. I was one. Struggle with like, wait a minute, huh? How you not support? But you have to be okay with that and understand that majority of your support will come from strangers anyway.
Mm, that's a thought.
Yeah, I know a little something, just a little something. What you think about that,
Oh, Jesus. You know, I think you have addressed a lot of things that get swept under the rug in business.
Peter? Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, we tend to know things and we'll talk amongst ourselves, but we won't put it out there in Jump Street
That's
so that
true.
everybody know about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because first off, it's not really worth. Sometimes we think, oh, it's not worth the time, and I don't necessarily want to be the whistleblower, and all of those things. And but does that go along with breaking barriers unapologetically?
Mm-hmm.
Is it when is that time when you have to be that person that starts the fire? For other people to be a catalyst for other people's growth.
Yeah.
We tell people, and we hear it all the time. Somebody's waiting on your gift.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's waiting on you to do your thing. And that's going to be a catalyst for their thing. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we know that somebody did a thing for us, or did their thing that inspired us, and we use as a catalyst to start us up.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be a business venture or somebody told us about a business venture, became a catalyst, or gave us an opportunity where we had to figure something out, and it
Mm-hmm.
became a catalyst to our greatness.
Right.
Or somebody called us out on a live stream and made us walk into our purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. And but what would have happened if that person not done what they were supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
Where would where would that other person be? And I tell
Right.
people that all the time. Where would these people that are waiting on you to be the catalyst for that greater
Mm-hmm.
be
Yep.
if you decide to not get out of bed today? Where would they be? And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times we have to realize that we are the catalyst. We
Yep.
are the ones that are going to make this world a better place. We got to stop waiting for somebody else to do it.
Mm-hmm.
you know and permission to go real deep. Permission to go real deep today. you know um yeah, I'm gonna bring in Mr. Floyd today for only a hot second, because that's not what I do. I don't
Mm-hmm.
piggyback off of current events. I don't do that. But he was put on this earth, what? To
Yeah.
be a catalyst, to
Mm-hmm.
let people see what is really going on.
Mm-hmm.
And every day that he lived, he was a normal, everyday somebody.
Yeah.
But his death became a catalyst for somebody else's growth,
Mm-hmm.
for somebody else's awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're not saying that it's your death that's going to be the thing, but it's going to be what you do is going
Yeah.
to be the thing. Somebody is waiting on you to do.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, oh, nobody's waiting on me. Nobody cares about what I'm doing. They don't like my post. They don't share my post. Guess what? It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter if they like or share or not, as long as they see it, as long as it penetrates the mind frame. That's
Mm-hmm.
what matters. A lot of people lurk. Let's be clear. A lot
Oh
of
yeah.
people lurk, and they're receiving all the blessings that you're putting out there. They just have nothing to say about it, you
Mm-hmm.
know? But in the midst of all of this, in the midst of all of this, you're changing a life. So if I was to stop posting every day, if Vanessa was to stop posting every day just because we didn't see a like or a or a heart or a a share, then where would we be?
Right.
Right. I have gotten notes in I think the best story for what I'm trying to say would be this. I'm a natural born storyteller. I do better that way. I am sitting here, March of this year, getting an award at an award ceremony, sitting there at the table with my friend Precious Williams. We doing our thing. And then all of a sudden, I get a message on LinkedIn saying, "Are you at an event?" I was like, "Yes." 5 minutes later, a lady walks up to me and says that I was one of your students in my master's program. And because of you, I finished. I
Wow.
was going through a lot of stuff, a divorce, raising 5 kids of my own, da 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 da. And nobody else showed me kindness but you. And because you showed me kindness, I ended up finishing my degree with a 4.0.
Wow.
And I say this to say, had I not shown up, had I not done the thing that I was supposed to do, which is to teach, then where would she have been?
Mm-hmm.
If Vanessa had not shown up and did what she's born to do, motivate and write books, where would the people have been? If she had not wrote the book that became that sparked this conference, all of the people that were at the conference last year, they got breakthroughs. Where would they be now?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't mean that they wouldn't have got it eventually, but they got it when they were supposed to get it
Mm-hmm.
because she showed up.
Mm-hmm.
She was that catalyst to open their eyes to brand new things. In fact, one of her breakthroughs was the reason why we have one of our speakers this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was a reason why she has a whole new facet of her conference this year.
Mm-hmm.
We need to stop sitting on what has been put into our hearts to do just because we don't feel that somebody wants to hear it. We don't feel that somebody doesn't need it. We don't feel like it will be appreciated. Guess what?
Mm.
It's not about us.
Ooh.
It's not about us. It's a reason why this thing has been put into your spirit. And I'm talking to somebody today. Somebody sitting on this line or somebody who's listening after the fact when we get off this call, listening at night or whatever, and gonna say, I have something in my spirit right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I've been sitting on for a very long time. But I wasn't compelled to do it because I didn't think I had the capacity, or I didn't have the help, or I didn't have the willpower, or I didn't have the structure. You know what? It's not all about that. Guess what? You were given the gift.
Yep.
And you were given and guess what? When you're given the gift, you're also going to be given the ability to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Things and people are going to come into your atmosphere and into your life that's
Mm-hmm.
going to help you get to where you're trying to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Vanessa looking at me, you got all that from what I said. Yeah, girl, I got all that from what you said, girl. And and I was real talk. I love the fact that you say breaking barriers unapologetically. When you get up every morning, you're breaking a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
You're breaking that barrier of, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you're not smart enough. Oh, nobody cares about what you have to say. Oh. Every time you get up and keep pushing, you're breaking a barrier. Every time you motivate somebody else, you're breaking a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you say the truth, you're breaking another barrier because all we do is lie, right? All we do is sit up there and say whatever somebody wants to hear, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know? Okay? That's all we do. But when we sit up there and tell the truth about what's really going on in business life or whatever, guess what? We're breaking another barrier.
Yeah.
Because, we don't know nothing. We just sitting around floating around like we ignorant, right? That's what they say, right? That's what they say. But guess
Yeah.
what? You're breaking a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
You are not letting anyone, repeat, anyone stop your flow or your flavor.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Breaking Barriers Unapologetically is about. Now, I'm just going to break it down. Can I break it down, Vanessa? And you tell me if I'm wrong. Real talk.
No, you're right.
People
You are definitely
are,
right.
are
You
you
are
going to
definitely
look
right.
at
Can you
this
hear me?
conference? Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
And
perfect.
yes, people are going to look at the conference and they're going to say, oh, I don't recognize those people, so I'm not going to go. Or they're going to look at the conference and say, oh, the title doesn't look like I can make $500 in 5 minutes, so I'm not going to go. Or they're going to look at the title and say, oh my goodness, it's another empowerment conference, so they're not going to go. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, Tell the
Let's
truth,
call it what
shame
it's
the devil. Okay. All right, I'm here. I'm here.
called.
All the things. All the things. You know
Mm-hmm.
what? But guess what? The people that came in the room, they did this last year. I'm gonna call space back. They did last year. But the people that came in the room, they gave it a chance, past the fact they didn't know nobody in the room, past the fact that it was an empowerment conference, past the fact that they didn't know anybody in there,
Mm-hmm.
past all of that, and left with a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
A tangible blessing, as well as a spiritual one, as well as a mental one.
Mm-hmm.
They received these things. And it's a lesson to say. One lady came on faith just because her friend said, come to the room. She
Mm-hmm.
said, come on in the room. She said, come on in the room. And she's come on and stepped on in there, right? She stepped on in there. And she was been changed ever since,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to be stretched past our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we got to step into a land that we have never thought about before. Sometimes we need to step into some boundaries that might shake us up a little bit. Sometimes we need to let go of our stagnantness and come to the light. What is wrong with a different experience?
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with opening your heart a little bit and letting the sun shine in? What's
Mm-hmm.
wrong with it? All the worst thing that could happen is you didn't get nothing out of it, but a different experience. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's an experience you didn't have. That's an experience that you didn't have any nuggets to take away from. It's an experience that you can pull on later. That's the worst thing that could happen to you if you come to this conference.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing. But I'm gonna let Vanessa tell you the best thing that can happen to you when you come into this conference.
The
Come
best,
on. Come on. Yeah, I'm ready. Come on.
the best thing that can happen when you come into the room is having an experience that you never had. The best opportunity ever is the one that you keep overlooking. The best thing that you could have is the people that you could connect with that you didn't even know. The best thing ever is that you turn around and you walk away with a whole new mindset. The best thing ever is that you could be able to go home and you could be able to have your help your family to be able to break some barriers. A better yet, you could better have a better conversation. Too often we don't even know any of these things, but we want to know everything. But we're too afraid to be in the room to get the experience so we could be able to learn because we feel that we have to open up and tell somebody else our business. And it's not open up and telling somebody else is your business, but a little piece of your business could be able to help the next person. Be afraid to do that. We don't want to open up and say, I'm dealing with that right now. Dang, I'm dealing with that too. But see, because you don't want to tell nobody else your business, how can you be able to get the healing that you need?
Mm-hmm.
You can't receive a breakthrough when you are not willing to be able to be vulnerable to open up to say, I need help right now. I need help right now. There's other ways that you could get help. Like times when we need help with our bills. You know, you can't
Mm-hmm.
call your family friends like that to be able to help you with your bills. But you could be able to go to these agencies to be able to get help with your bills. Well, look at Breaking Barriers Unapologetically as a way that could be able to help you to open up ways like really ways that has helped so many other people to be able to find them true self. They dig deep to be able to say, dang, I could do this. To dig deeper, to be able to understand, I could stand flat footed and own this. Be okay with that. Don't be afraid and keeping your hands clenched together because you're too afraid to open up.
Mm-hmm.
You're too afraid to open up. It's like there's nothing wrong with me. And it may not be necessarily something wrong with you, but the environment that you in, the energy that you keep on picking up, the people that you being around is holding you back. And now you know that you stuck and you just don't know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
Come on into the room and find something different. Come on in the room and meet some new people. Come on in the room and turn around and see like-minded people just like you. Better yet, there is a topic that's going to be talked about called Hold My Hand.
Okay.
Hold my hand. Just if you wanted to be able to extend your hand, then the next person can be able to extend their hand to be able to hold your hand through your process. But you got to be willing to extend the offer in order for it to connect.
Mm.
But if you're not willing to be able to do that, you will continue to stay stuck. You will continue to stay broken. You will still be in a complacent mindset.
Mm-hmm.
We are at war with ourselves. The world is already at war, but we are at war with ourselves because we don't see ourselves as owning anything. We don't see ourselves owning the blocks. We don't see ourselves owning business, and we don't see ourselves owning ways where our children could be able to be in a safe environment. We don't see that often. That's why the percentage of failure, of winning, is low, but failure is high.
Mm.
So when are you going to get in the winning circle of people who started from the ground? When are you going to get in the winning circle who are people who are being transparent? When are you going to get in the winning circle to be able to see that they had to go through the struggle just to be able to get in the position that they are in now? When are you willing to be able to just sit still and understand that their journey is not their journey? Their journey is to be shared. Their journey is for you to understand that it's possible for you too. When? We always say we don't have time, but we've been locked down for 3 months. Many people are still on lockdown. So you can't say you don't have the time. More businesses are going up as far as financially. Why? Because you got the time to sit at home to be able to shop now. Just saying. I have seen this conference that this one lady we not gonna mention had attended this conference a couple of years in a row. Attended this conference because of the names that was on the flyer. And she went to this conference spending thousands of dollars to come out empty. Now the person is having this conference again. And when I say hundreds of dollars to have a virtual conference, yes, hundreds to have a virtual conference. Really? Really? To still come up empty? When the conference for breaking barriers is $67. Six and a seven, not hundreds. So I mean, what's your excuse? Because we quick to make an excuse. And this is why we stay where we're at right now. We quick to run so we could be able to avoid it. We quick to do all of those things. But when there is something that's placed for you, for your family, that's beneficial, and you could walk away with tangible information, tangible relationship, something that you could be able to still connect with people after the fact. When was the last time that you went to any conference with all these thousands of people and you have yet to have a conversation with them after the conference? You have yet to be consistent with the connection after the conference. One thing that I know for sure, after Breaking Barriers Unapologetically conference, every single person that was in that room, they still keep in contact to today. Till today. And that conference happened in August, will be a year ago. And the things that have transpired, it fills my heart. It fills my heart. My heart is full because people in that room received breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. And now they're doing it. They no longer have to ask themselves or tell themselves that, nope, this ain't for me. Or can I do this? This is not possible. But at the Breaking Barriers Unapologetically conference, we showed them possible. I was willing to be able to share my story. I'm always sharing my story because somebody understands that this girl really went through some things. Yes, I did. And it wasn't easy. And I fight every day to push myself. Every day to do more, every day to show up, and I'm an introvert. I don't like all that attention. That means what? For what? But I know what I experienced is able to help so many other people because I'm a living witness to be the first generation in my family on both sides, in life and in business. The first. So when are you going to take the lead to be the first? Maybe the second, maybe the third, but at least you could be able to build generationals of change. We got to stop talking about it and start being about it. So be in the room so you could be able to get your change, so you could be able to get your breakthrough, so you could be able to hold my hand. Something else that I'm going to be talking about is an apology letter. Now, I'm not going to go all deep. You got to get your ticket. But we continually hold somebody else accountable for our shortcomings. They went on and tortured the hell out of somebody else, and you still blaming them for your shortcomings. I'm going to leave that right there. You want to know more? Get your ticket. Be in the room. $67 to have a 2-day event with some powerful speakers to get your life right in your life and in business. So don't sleep on this conference. Don't do it. Because you sleep on a conference, you sleep on your breakthrough. You sleep on this conference, you sleep out on a possibility. You sleep on this conference, you don't know who's in that room to connect with. You sleep. There's no growth. You have to be willing to invest in yourself, just like that job investing in you. Just like that job invested in going to conferences so they can be able to improve. When are you going to take the time out to invest in you for your self
Mm,
development? Your self development. We don't want to show up for ourselves. That's too much. I'm sorry. That's too much. I'm
mm,
saying we rather allow other people to show up and then we'll follow up. But you telling me in order for somebody else to show up, that's the only way you're gonna do it? You don't see yourself worthy? You
mm,
don't see it for you? You are worth
mm,
so much. And if I
mm,
tell you just a snippet of my story of coming from two broken parents, from coming from a place where you called every name in the book, from coming from being a teen mom, from coming from a place where you have no support, when you come from a place of where people thought that you was losing your mind because you decided not to raise your children the same way that you was raised, when you've been outcast from your own family, and then they'll turn around and find anybody that you connected to the outcast them on you, and now you looking like what is going on, but you still determined to be able to make a change for your family. You still know that you're not going to raise your family in a place of brokenness because you was broken. You decided to be able to take that leap and stand out there alone in order for you to be able to know the possibilities of seeing something better, seeing something different, and understanding that if I could do it, my children could do it. But I'm
mm,
willing to take this hit so my babies don't have to. And then for me to be able to move forward in my business when people thought that I was crazy when I got laid off my job, go get you a good old job again. But when you can't find no job, with all the experience that you have, what you gonna do? You gonna sit back with your hands, sitting on your hands and hoping and praying that, oh, the Lord gonna bless me, but you have not taken no action? You darn right the Lord done blessed me. He blessed me in a way of taking action. He blessed me in a way of showing me that your gift is waiting on you. He blessed me in a way of presenting the gift in a way that I never expected it. He blessed me to be able to show me and pour into me. And when I felt that I had nothing else left to give, he blessed me to be consistent. He blessed me in a way that sometimes I'm trying to still figure out, like, what did I do? Because I continue to show up for Vanessa. I continue to be obedient when I didn't want to. I continue to move forward in the things that he have called me to do. I continue to just be Vanessa. That's it. And owning my gift. When are you going to learn how to own your gift and move forward? When? Because we all have one. And once I accepted what was up, I understand that I was going to get challenged. But I was willing to push through. Are you willing to push through the challenge of showing up for yourself? Are you willing to push through to break those barriers in your life or in your business? Are you willing to push through so you don't continue to have a broken relationship? Are you continue to push through so you could be able to see something different? Are you willing to be able to say, dang, I know I need to work on some things. And I'm willing to be in a room. Too many of us are too afraid to date ourselves.
mm.
When was the last time you dated yourself so you could be able to know yourself? But you'll rather have somebody else take you out on a date to wine and dine you because you don't appreciate yourself. You can't see yourself taking yourself out on a date. I'd rather for somebody else to do it. But next thing you know, you wonder why they expect something because you wanted them to wine and dine you. And now they don't wine and dine you. And now you're broken again. You attract who you are.
Mm,
So we have to be able to switch it up so we can be able to stop putting unnecessary pressure where we don't have to press. If we gonna put some pressure down, we need to go ahead and put our foot on the gas and don't let up until you get to your destination.
mm, mm.
Okay.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yes.
Mm,
Okay.
makes sense.
Like, oh, no, it came out. We have
Well,
better.
we have a few more minutes before we end this call today, video, what have you, all the things. So, is there anything that you want the audience to know about Breaking Barriers Unapologetically? Your speakers, your format, whatever.
We do have some speakers, and this is one thing that I am super duper excited. I appreciate all my speakers, but we have men that's going to speak, and we have men. It's called Meeting of the Minds, where we're going to have the men come together, and they're going to be able to just share their thoughts. And the reason why I say this is because we don't hear from our men enough. We it's too many single parent homes, number one. So usually there's not a man in that household, right? And so we need to be able to hear from our men of the things that they deal with, the things that could open up our eyes to understand their thought process because they don't speak a lot. They just don't. And it could be able to show us different types of ways of just how we communicate with our men. Look what's going on in this world right now. Our
Mhm.
men have to battle and pray they could come home safe. They do not need to come home to hear you nagging them about something that there's no need to have a conversation about. Men are problem solvers. They on a battlefield to solve a problem, to bring home money, to take care of the family. They don't need a nagger in their ear. We need to understand how we could be able to understand the way men break down, don't open up. It comes from a place of their whole thought process because they don't open up like we do. But if you're not willing to be able to be consistent with that man, why would he want to open up to you anyway? So we're going to have the men coming to be able to give us insight on many levels of men meeting the meetings of the minds of our men at this conference. And so I'm really excited about it. We have someone talking about how to be able to get their finances in order. Her son went to college and graduated college, and college is expensive. But when he graduated, he had no debt,
Mm.
none. And she was able to get her son through college with no debt. None. Because usually we go in with into college to get an education. We come out with the highest bill ever to be able to not find a job that's going to be able to help us to pay that 6 months later. So how can we be able to get our finances in order so we can be able to not have that debt? We have to start living, not just living in the moment, but we have to start living and
Mhm.
enjoying life. And if we can be able to get our finances in order, we can be able to enjoy life. We can be able to take that pressure off us some. So there's so many ways how we could be able to do these things at Breaking Barriers Unapologetically. But you got to be willing to be in the room to have the experience. And then for all of those people who have got their tickets for the conference, before, if you go to bbuconference.com, you'll be able to get your ticket. We'll be able to put you in a group. And so you could be able to start seeing the people that's in there. And then all those people who have ordered got their tickets before, I want to say the 10th, that's what I want to say, of July, they will receive a kit. Don't ask me what's in the kit, but let me tell you, this kit is going to prepare you to be ready on conference day. But you have to get your tickets in order to see what's in this kit. How many conferences have you went to virtually or not that's providing you something to prepare you for what they're about to pour into you? And you have to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So don't delay. I'm just saying. Get your ticket. Don't be disappointed. Don't be mad because we had people who did not, and they slept on the conference last year, and they was wondering what happened in that room, and it was wondering why it was not able to be explained because it was so powerful. What happened in that room? It was powerful. Go over there and you can find out the testimonies. It was powerful as heck, and you got to get in the room to get that experience. So go ahead and get your tickets. Don't delay, and be prepared for a life changing moment that you never expected. I don't have to have a big name. Dr. Finch don't have to have a big name, but we got a powerful message that is changing people's lives one household at a time. So we look forward to seeing you there. Dr. Finch is one of the speakers. So you have a business. Now what is her topic? I'm just saying. You ready? Get your ticket. Get your ticket. You won't be disappointed. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. So, Dr. Finch, what was your takeaway from last year's conference that you are looking forward to this new one? Even though we're doing it virtually, but what was your takeaway from last year, and now what makes you ready for this year's conference?
Oh, the takeaway was, well, I actually brought my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that my mother was actually participating in everything was absolutely amazing because, she doesn't really do that. So, you know, and the fact, the bonding exercises and how everybody came together, you know, um, I guess I saw it from a different way because I was more in
Mm-hmm.
tune with what was going on with you. But, you know, I think more than anything, my takeaway was the fact that I saw Breaking Bears unapologetically in real life, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because, there were some moments there where, you could have left, you could have shut down, you could have said whatever, but you
Mm-hmm.
kept pushing because you knew that the people that were there deserve excellence,
Mm-hmm.
and you made that happen. And when people expected you to break down or expected you to do this, that, and other thing, you broke that barrier and you did it unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I loved about that conference. That's what I took away from the conference. As far as what I'm looking forward to this year, of course, I'm looking forward to the male panel because two of the males on the panel absolutely adore. One, which is my family member, it's his first time speaking in my world, and so y'all are gonna love him. He's absolutely amazing,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And you get both doctors of my family, you know. Um, he's amazing. I'm not going to do the gush thing today. We're not going to do that today. But he gets bent out of shape when I do that. So we're not
Mm-hmm.
going to do that today. Then, you know, and I think that the male panel is going to be very, very poignant. The male that I did know, we actually did an interview, and I think that his topic is going to be right on point with the conference and what you really been putting out there to the people. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, amazing. And then what also the fact that you have a mix of the mental, the personal, and the business side. I
Yeah.
think that you are really addressing the whole person,
Mhm.
because a lot of people are very good personally and are a hot mess in business. Then some people are a wonderful business person, amazing in business, and a hot mess personally. You
Yeah.
know, and so if we were to focus on just one, then we would be leaving out another whole important part of another person
Yeah.
of
That's
the
true.
person. So you are addressing the full person, and I think that that is amazing because where there's people that are considered experts, in their field, will come and learn why these things are ticking the way they do for them, or
Mhm.
why they having a separation with this or that, or why they push this one away or push that thing away, in order to do their business. Why is there no balance?
Yeah.
All those different things. And you're going to address that in your conference.
Mhm.
I know that you'll be addressing those in your topics. And at the end of the day, I look forward to seeing the what the people who are going to comment have to say.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because one thing about your audience, they all have a different perspective and they come from all walks of life. And I always enjoy seeing what they have to say and what they bring to the table because, my goodness, you know it's all what you tend to see things from your side. And in a Vanessa production, you don't get to have that luxury. So
Ooh,
that's what I'm
shoot.
looking forward to in the conference.
Oh Lord, that was a good one. Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I think about even when the interviews that we're doing with the speakers, that one thing that the speaker, his topic is mental state of mind, and we dealing with that right now,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, and how his wife, who attended the conference last year, came back a whole new woman. He was like, what's going on here? And he was shocked that for her to not know me, number one, but came as a guest with one of her friends, and to come back with a whole nother mindset. He was like, whenever you have your next one, I'm there. And I was like, oh wow. So people are looking to be able to, it doesn't matter what your level of degree, they're looking for change. They're looking to, okay, wait a minute, is I know somebody, am I speaking the same language, of wanting more out of my life? I know I don't have to stay in this spot. I know I don't have to just work to pay bills. I know I just don't have to constantly keep doing something over and over and over again. And then I still allow my gift to die. When are you going to unravel those gifts that we have, that we was birthed with, and to share it with the world? And it was a challenge for me as well, but I'm speaking from experience. And once I understand and tap into the mindset of the possibilities, wait a minute, I could do this. Even though I didn't want to help other people write books, even though I didn't want to do that conference, but it was for me to do. It was me that he put it on. We have to stop worrying about, oh, somebody gonna take it, so I'm not gonna put it out there. That was yours. They can't take something that God has given you anyway,
Mhm. Mhm.
because it's yours. It cannot be of excellence because he gave it to you and not them. You can only deliver and reach out to his children because he put you in that position. He gave you authority to do so. So you telling me that with him giving you the authority to move forward in your gift, you gonna let him down? You
Mm.
gonna continue to Keep on praying to him to be able to show you a better way. He giving you a better way, and this may not be the way that you want it, and you gonna let him down. And you wondering why you not moving in your best self because you keep letting them down. You don't want to unwrap that gift that's messed up outside, that's waiting, that's muddy, that's dirty, that's toe up. But inside of it, you thought it was empty, but your gift was up in there, but you choose to let them down. Every time that you have fallen short, he's still consistent.
Yes, he is.
So you telling me you gonna let them down yet again? We all have our part to do. Dr. Finch, she has her part to do. All of our speakers have their part to do. All the attendees, they have their part to do. Imagine we a mighty force. God gave me a vision last year at that conference. And I was like, I'm so confused. What is he showing me? He kept showing me a circle. I said, a circle? What? A circle, Vanessa. I need you to have a circle. And I was like, a circle? But I need it in the picture. So I'm like, what? Lord and behold, I couldn't understand what he was talking about. But the very last day, it was a powerful movement that happened that ended up in a circle. And we had the opportunity to be present in that moment. That right there alone was speechless because I was being obedient to what he keeps showing me. When are you going to be obedient to your call? When are you going to be obedient to your gift? When? When are you going to take care of you? We take care of the kids, we take care of the spouse, we take care of our friends, but we don't do nothing for us. When are you going to do for you? When you going to show up for yourself? When you going to finally be consistent for yourself? When? And I learned that because being a single mother, I could be able to say now, Vanessa, it's your turn. So I had to tag myself in. When you going to tag yourself in? So I see you at the conference. Get your ticket. Get your ticket. I'm excited. And it's time. It's overdue. We have too much going on in this world. Too much. Too much. One of my books is called Shifting Your Mindset. It was like set up on purpose. And I never thought about it. Shifting your mindset. Then comes breaking barriers breaking the cycle of brokenness. To then turn around having You Are More Than with Dr. Finch. Then turn around having Do I Not Matter? Wait a minute, hold on. All those questions we asking ourselves right now. Right now. And I wrote the very first book 4 years ago.
That's right.
So it's interesting. What if I did not put out my books? What if? People will not be able to get the healing to be whole, to get the answers that they've been looking for. They couldn't get it from their mama and them. They couldn't get it. They kept pointing the finger at the person who broke them. Now they could be able to address the situation to be able to move on. And now here we are now with a conference again to help more people, because people are needing, they wanting, they praying, and they crying out for help. And so when God did this and said, Vanessa, you gotta do it. You're the only one. Be bold enough to say, I got this because he got me. And just trust the process. It may not be smooth, but trust the process. As I stated before, one thing that I love about breaking barriers is the mission. The mission is to break those barriers in life and in business, one household at a time. If we could attack the head the neck can start moving. So we'll see you at the Breaking Barriers Unapologetically conference. Make sure you get your tickets. So anybody who get their ticket before the 10th of July, there's going to be a kit sent to your home that's going to prepare you for the conference on the 24th and 25th of July. You don't want to miss this. I'll see you there.
Well, thank you everyone for listening today. And thank you for everyone who's going to get your ticket today or in the future because we can't wait to have you in the room. You definitely do not want to miss another Vanessa production. So with that, so with that being said, thank you everyone for listening and goodbye.
Bye.